Hello and welcome back to Benacam. Today we are having a look at East Wheal Charlotte, which is an interesting little mine. It's only quite small. There's a nice little inclined railway in it, so it's a flooded shaft which is just off vertical, and we're going to go take a look at that and show you. Got Barfield with me again today, going exploring, and it should be a good one.
The abandoned workings of East Wheal Charlotte lie well hidden and tucked away within a valley near St Agnes on the north Cornish coast. We access the mine by a well camouflaged mine adit and make our way deep into the hillside behind. The mine operated in the early 1900s, raising both tin and copper, and was worked from both an adit and an inclined shaft, which is no longer visible on the surface.
Yeah, you can see someone's tried a bit more modern props in there as well to stop that slab of rock swallowing you up. Nasty. And you can see here there's a proper little man trap there right at the start of it, and then you can see the rails which then descend down the slope into the rest of the workings. Just carefully walk across here. Then you come along and go, just go across it. Yeah, just go across it, it'll be fine. So that's the very top of the incline, and then it goes past that white rope and then right down to the flooded section. So this here right behind me, this is the very top of the decline. So this would have gone out to the surface up in that valley, but unfortunately it's all been well blocked up. And now that we've seen the top, we better show you the bottom. Some nice rotten timber here, holding back a load of loose rock, ready to let go at any point. That was where we were a minute ago, up there where we came in. And then this just goes right down into the lower flooded section, which we're going to go and look at now. Got a nice old shovel head here, left in position, the side of the shaft. So these pieces of wood that are still here, these are the old supports that would have held the lines, and you can see in a minute that they're actually still in position again. So these upper ones have been removed, and then these lower ones are still there. Look at that. That's awesome, isn't it? Beautifully clear water, isn't it? That is really nice. Goes a fair way. It does. Be interesting to find out how far that goes. Right, let's go get the dive kit.
Due to the difficult access into this mine, I've stripped my dive kit right down to the minimum to be able to dive. But this approach carries considerable risk, with little redundancy if things go wrong. I lay a line so that in the worst case scenario I can feel my way back to the entry point, or exit quickly in an emergency. Mine diving is a form of cave diving, which varies massively from diving in open bodies of water such as the sea. Equipment needs to be in perfect condition, and the diver trained and equipped to dive in zero visibility, and you'll see why this is so important later on. The shaft descends only a few meters before coming across side tunnels to both the left and the right. The left-hand one seems to end in a collapse, whereas the right-hand only goes a short distance to a dead end. Continuing on down the main shaft, we can see the metal rails and wooden supports still in situ. We had really hoped that there may have been some artefacts at the bottom, such as the iron wagon that would have been once used to haul ore up this shaft to the surface. The end finally comes into view, with a sump and some timbering, and the remains of the deep adit to the left-hand side. Looking into this adit, we can see that the tunnel also goes back underneath the workings, but shortly leads to another dead end. We are just over 14 metres depth of water here, and stopping in one spot for too long, you can see one of the issues we have, which is the rising air bubbles are dislodging loose formations above, reducing the visibility. We have a look in the other adit and find some steel wagon rail lines and some timbers. The old corrugated iron was probably intended to be used to help shore up unstable ground. And the most interesting thing here is below me in the mud. You can still see the hobnail boot imprints of the last miners who worked here before the mine was abandoned and then flooded. Sadly, the deep adit is run in and gets very narrow beyond this point, so it's time to turn around and follow the reel line back to the surface. On the return trip, you can really see the importance of the line, as visibility drops to almost zero, and years of experience and training kick in, allowing you to calmly retrace your route back to the only exit point without getting further lost in the workings. With the mine now fully explored, we retrace our steps back to the surface.
So that's East Wheal Charlotte, explored as far as we possibly can. And as always, don't ever attempt to repeat anything which you've seen in this video. Reversing technique. Works. We're out.
These old mine workings can be dangerous and in places are unstable, so exploring them even above the water is really something you need to be well equipped and experienced to be able to do safely. So thanks for watching, hope you've enjoyed the adventure and we will see you on the next one.